Welcome to Mystic Challenge, where the secrets and lives of two mystery guests will be revealed before your very eyes. But how much will today's Mystic Masters be able to stun and amaze us with their paranormal powers? Well, today it's a veritable house of cards as we challenge tarot readers Chris Forster and Avril Price. Now, at the moment, they are unable to hear anything at all, and as the doors shut on our Mystic booth, they are unable to see anything either. And here to ensure fair play and, of course, judge the accuracy of our Mystic speculation is our jury of 12, led by their foreman, excellent mirror columnist, the lovely Sue Carroll. Hello, Sue. So, we've got you in here because of your journalistic nous. Are you satisfied with proceedings so far?
Well, I'm a bit of a cynical old hack, but yes, I'm pretty satisfied that nobody knows what's going on at all.
Not even me, of course.
Absolutely, least of all you.
When you say you're cynical, do you believe at all in the paranormal?
I'm open to suggestion. I'm open to suggestion.
Oh, I hope you are by the end of the show. Thank you, Sue and the jury, because now it's time for us to hear from our very first mystery guest.
My name is Irma Kurtz. I'm a writer and the agony aunt for Cosmopolitan magazine. By and large, it was a happy childhood. A lot of love in our household. We lived in Jersey City, which was an appalling slum across the river from New York. In 1952, I went to Columbia University, where I've read English literature, of course. In 1971, I met Tony Beers, who's the father of my son Mark. About 12 years ago, I had what was going to be my last great love affair, and I remember actually saying, just get me out of this alive, and I promise I'll never do it again. The two major life-changing experiences for me were crossing the Atlantic that first time in 1953 and my son's birth in 1972. The lucky break professionally was when A Piece of Mine was accepted by Nova magazine. But the last issue of Nova was, I believe, the very month of the first issue of Cosmopolitan. They said they were going to experiment with an agony aunt. I thought it would be entertaining to do for a year or two. I've only written 3 books that I am anything like proud of. One is a little novel, I say little in size, called Jinx. One is a book about going around America on Greyhound buses, which I did for 8 months. And the last one I did called Dear London. This summer I've had hay fever, and I've never had that before, but it's not too distressing. It's not something I worry about very much, actually. There's another book I have an idea for that I really want to write, and nervously I'm trying to write a play.
Fascinating life there, and that guest is safely tucked away in the wings, so it's time to put our Mystic Masters to the test. Remember, only our jury, and you at home, of course, know the identity of the person in question. And our first challenger today is tarot reader Chris Forster. Now, the only information Chris had to work with is a set of cards chosen earlier today by our guest, who was in a very heavy disguise and just 5 minutes staring into his crystal ball. But he has not spoken to our guest, so will you welcome Chris Forster? Chris, sir, grab a seat. We are going to give you 90 seconds to give us a little resume of our guest's personality and interests. What areas do you want to focus on?
OK, I'd like to look at childhood, career and relationships.
Childhood, career and relationships in 90 seconds, and that time starts now.
Thanks. I feel in childhood she was sickly with a pushy mother and an artisan father, spending a lot of time in swimming costumes in her late teens. If she'd been attracted to the arts, she could have been a starlet. I feel dancing and ballet as a child led to problems later in life with shoes and particularly with big toes. I feel her career should involve art, a very creative person, and anything from acting to painting should be there. Currently, there must be a new project on the go. It could be a new book, a new play, a new role. There's new challenges there. They've started something now that was dropped 5 to 10 years ago. They're something of a workaholic, and this has affected health. Now, they seek to be well known in whatever they do. I feel they've returned here from a hotter climate, possibly USA. There's also a connection with Paris. Through the crystal ball, I see a tall metal structure. So they're very at home in Europe. In relationships, I feel 4 significant relationships or marriages, a couple of children there, and there's a lot happened in her emotional life. Known as a woman of love, and now actually a very spiritual person, attracting similar people to her. They love the company of others, society and groups of people, and have inherited well from their past relationships and associations.
You've got about 15 seconds left.
OK, well, a few other things. I feel homes in different countries, an interest in flotation chambers. They love fun fairs and the roller coaster, even the roller coaster of life. A person of eternal youth, possibly they've had HRT treatment.
And you're out of time. Well done, Chris, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. And Chris's cosmic challenger today is fellow tarot card reader Avril Price. Now, the only information she had to work with was a set of cards chosen earlier by our mystery guest, who, again, was in a very heavy disguise. So will you welcome Avril Price? Hello, Avril.
Hello.
Take a seat for us.
Thank you.
We're going to give you a minute and a half as well to give us as many details as you can about the mystery guest. What areas do you want to aim for?
I'm going to go for childhood, career and relationship.
Childhood, career and relationships, 90 seconds, and it starts now.
This lady had a strict moral upbringing, and because of this, independence is now very important to her. She was never allowed to express herself emotionally. She was very well educated and is very intelligent, but her intellect can interfere with her intuition. Career. She is very dedicated and highly respected by her peers. She has a creative mind, has written books and done radio work as well. She values study. Her strong point is communication with the public, and she's a great advisor. She deals with mental health and is a reformer. She has a spiritual side to her work. She has to be tactful and diplomatic all the time, which can get frustrating. She does charity work for those who have fallen by the wayside and is particularly interested in the work of the Red Cross. She's under a lot of pressure at the moment and has to watch her blood pressure as a result. She can get disillusioned with the world. She's a very well-travelled lady and loves Africa. She's being asked to make snappy decisions at the moment and is considering leaving something behind. Money-wise, she hasn't always been well off and just had to start from scratch a few times, a spendthrift. Relationships. Her career may have been interrupted when her mother fell ill, possibly with Alzheimer's. She may have had to look after her and was pulled in two different directions. Family is the most important thing to her. She has children and possibly grandchildren. She loves the country, is interested in conservation and lives in a pretty area. She likes to go walking. She's considering a family project at the moment or a family property. She's in a relationship at the moment, which brings her emotional stability. Thank you.
Well done there, Avril, with 5 or 6 seconds to spare. Very accurate there on some counts, as they both were. But now it's time for our Mystic Masters to meet their mystery guest. Please welcome one of the country's longest-standing agony aunts and author, Irma Kurtz. Come on out, Irma. Hello. Grab a seat. OK, well, an awful lot of very varied information there.
Gosh, yes.
We know quite a bit about you. Let's start with something they both seem to get a sense of. They both talked about travel. Chris got the idea of maybe you coming from America, and he mentioned Paris. Is Paris important to you?
I lived in Paris for 2 years, yes.
Right, and of course, presumably the big
I was
structure
in love with Paris. That's why I came to Europe from America in the first place. My first great love.
An American in Paris, then. But
That's
Avril
right.
mentioned Africa. Do you like Africa?
Oh, well, I've only been twice. It's extremely beautiful, but it's not top of my travel list, no. I like to go... I love cities, and I love to see what people have made. And Africa is very much more landscape and this vivid animal life that...
Well, let's go through some of Chris's other points. He could see you in a swimming costume and also dancing. Did you
You'd
dance
rather
as a
not,
child
I
and
think.
swim?
Sorry?
Did you dance and swim as a child?
I never danced, no, I've never been a dancer. But swimming in a way, summer holidays, but no more than I had to, and I don't like pools.
And how are your big toes? Any problems
Trouble, yes, they're trouble. I have, ever since I was a kid, had trouble with big toes.
And although he was talking very quickly because we don't give him much time, he mentioned that you might be working on a play, which of course you are.
I am for the first time, yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Would you regard yourself as a workaholic?
Yes, I guess I am.
And he said 4 marriages. Does that ring any
Oh,
bells?
gosh, no marriages, no thank heavens.
How many serious relationships would you
Darling,
say?
I lost count.
Right.
I don't know, but maybe 4, but I don't really know. I don't know what a serious relationship is.
And you said you lived in Paris for a while. Do you have homes in any other countries in
I
Europe?
have a place in France.
Right, OK. Now, he had a lot of F words. Fun fairs, flotation tanks and the fountain of youth.
Well, I love carnivals and fun fairs. I always have. I like the people. Flotation tanks, I don't know where that comes from.
Maybe that was the future.
Watery,
Yes,
maybe.
in a swimming costume. If we turn to Avril now, some remarkable hits, I thought, here. Moral upbringing, which I suppose is true.
Well, I suppose it's true. They were good people.
But you said you communicate with the public, you're a great advisor.
Yes.
Are you interested in mental health problems, in questions of
Well,
that
aren't
area?
we all? I mean, anyone, of course. I don't know if I'm any more interested than other people who notice their fellow men.
Well, of course, you're tactful and diplomatic, presumably when dealing with some of the queries and problems
Am I
from
not?
the readers, yes.
Yeah.
Well educated, we know that's true about you, and intelligent. Written books and done a lot of
Yes.
radio work, of course. Would you say you've been kind of spendthrift with money?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm terrible with money. Yeah.
OK. But not so much at home in the country, because you live in the heart of London, in Soho, don't you?
I do, yes.
But you still like to walk, though?
I walk everywhere, yeah.
Right.
But in London.
It's going to be a tough one for the jury to call this, but for the moment, thanks to Chris and Avril. So it's over to Sue Carroll and her all-female jury. Sue, what do you reckon?
Well, we thought Avril was incredible in that she actually said that Irma was a communicator and an advisor, which was spot on, but we were a bit worried about her saying she lived in a leafy street when in fact she lives in Soho. Chris, we thought, got the emotional climate right, understood what she was doing, and also the geographical side of it right as well, because in fact, you know, he understood that she loved Paris and had lived originally in America, and so therefore we give it to Chris.
So commiserations to Avril, but well done, Chris. Oh. And big thanks to Irma Kurtz. Good luck with the new novel and the play, Irma.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for coming along. Thanks, of course, to our Mystics. And if you'd like more information on Mystic Challenge, why not visit our website? But leave it till after the show. This is only part one. We're going to be right back after this.